Hello guys, and welcome back to DTH Reviews, where we are late to the game every week for you guys. My name is Joe, and I am joined by Jamison.
Hi there.
And today we're doing something a little bit different. We have hit a blank spot on our schedule. There isn't a game coming out this week, so what we thought we would do is we would go back and we would talk about some of the games that we played, but we didn't talk about on this show. And there's been quite a lot of them. We've missed a few because a few months ago I was busy with work and exams and coursework. Also the PlayStation 4 came out and I couldn't get my hands on a few of the games. So we've built up quite a substantial list of games that we didn't talk about on DTH Reviews that we're going to talk about today. There's going to be a few in this video. I know for sure that Killzone, COD Ghosts and Battlefield 4 PS4 Edition are going to be in this episode. We are going to decide which are going to be in which episode as we go along, and I think what we do is we'll have like an annotation screen on the video right now, so you can click and you can choose which ones you want to go to. Because, yeah, see what I'm doing here? Because there's probably some you don't give a shit about and some you care about. So you can click on the screen right now if you want to go to a specific game. Obviously you can see on the screen what they are, but we are going to start off with Killzone. If you don't care about Killzone, click on something else now. So, starting off with Killzone. So you played Killzone pretty much on release.
Yeah, it was like
pretty close to release.
It was my launch day game. It was the game I picked up. I picked up Call of Duty because I'm an idiot, and I had Resogun because it was free. But Killzone was a game like, this is, you know, sort of like the only thing that shows off what my $400 has bought me. So yeah, I played it at launch. I played the campaign at launch and then didn't really touch the multiplayer at all until recently. And yeah. And then you were a little late to Killzone, I think. I paid for Killzone. I paid a high price of 89 pence for for my copy of Killzone. There was a glitch on the, I don't know if it was the European or the UK PSN network, but I managed to pick it up for 89 pence. That was nice. Steal.
Yeah, that was nice. That was very surprising. So it kind of made it made me enjoy the few beginning missions of the campaign even more. You know when you get free food and it just tastes better because you didn't pay for it? It was kind of like that with the first few levels of Killzone. I jumped into it, and this was the first proper next-gen experience, and it looks great. I mean, really great. Some of the levels is still some of the best game graphics I've ever seen so far.
Yeah, it's a sharp-looking game, and the first half of that campaign I thought was really enjoyable. I enjoyed
me too.
Sort of the first 3 or 4 levels. They are nice and open world, sort of open level design. You're sort of free. You have some good choice to go and do things sort of how you want to do them. And then, wow, the second half is so bad.
Yeah, you warned me about this, but I thought maybe you were over-exaggerating because I was still kind of in the high of the campaign and I was really having a good time. And but you pretty much nailed it. I'm not sure what it is about the second half of the campaign. It just kind of slows down and gets a bit less interesting.
Yeah, each level, like one level after another, each level gets worse than the previous one, and they were really bad at launch. Like, they have done a very, very good job of supporting the game post-release, and like some of the stuff that was problematic in the last half they have fixed, or at least made less terrible. Like the wingsuit flying squirrel section, it took me probably 20 times to get through that.
That was so weird, that bit. That controlled so bizarre.
And they fixed the controls by the time you'd played it, and it was like, it took me probably 15 or 20 times to get through it when it came out. And so yeah, that, and you know, the story's, I don't even know what's happening, but yeah, yeah, the first half was really enjoyable, and I really was having fun, and then the second half, I almost didn't even complete it because it was just so not enjoyable in any way. Yeah.
I enjoyed certain aspects of it, like you said near the beginning. That zipline thing where you can kind of put out a zipline at any time and kind of traverse the level in whichever way you want to. That was pretty neat. I remember one level in particular near the beginning where you're in that like foresty area, and you can sneak around and go, you know, take a stealthy approach, or you can zipline across this kind of chasm onto this. It was fun. It was fun, and it's just I'd be interested to know what happened during development where it kind of, I don't know, went a bit off track.
I mean, it was probably like you guys, the PlayStation 4 is launching on November 15th, and you are going to launch alongside it. You better finish this game up quick, go! And they're like, okay, we've got 4 really good levels. How do we finish this off in 6 months? So that's probably right. What it was. I mean, yeah. But thankfully, there is that multiplayer, which you and I just recently booted up and played, and I was really surprised by that multiplayer. I had played some of Killzone 2 and a few hours of Killzone 3's multiplayer and really enjoyed it, but never really gotten into it because PS3, just multiplayer on it was so difficult and not a great experience. But the Shadowfall's multiplayer is pretty fun. I had to.
Yeah,
I was
really
impressed.
Good time.
Yeah.
I mean, we've only played it once, but when we did dive in, it was very casual. I was like, "Do you want to play a little bit of Killzone?" I think we ended up having quite a long session, like a good 4 hours or so playing it, because it was kind of, to me, it was kind of just thoughtless fun, to be honest with you. I wasn't really concentrating on what I was doing. I was kind of running around, just kind of randomly blasting at people. No one was really good at it, so that kind of made it fun, because it's always kind of off-putting when you jump into a multiplayer game of a game you're not really that invested in and everyone's really good at it. But it wasn't like that, you know. We kind of did pretty well without any experience. I think the actual gun control feels pretty good. I'm still not the biggest fan of the movement in the Killzone franchise. I still think you feel a bit fat and clunky, but the shooting was nice. It was clean, and I was surprised how much fun we had in that one little session we gave it a go. And
I like that they didn't lock up, like when you first boot it up, you know, from level 1, you have access to a really good variety of stuff, and it seems like there isn't a lot of like abilities wise, at least it didn't seem like there was much locked away behind levels. It was just, most of it was there from the get-go, which was nice. I really liked that, you know, that you didn't have to, like when you're starting off, you don't have these shitty abilities that everybody else has really good ones. So I like that. I was pleasantly surprised by it. Yeah. So yeah, that was the multiplayer is really enjoyable and the campaign isn't.
Yeah. I think that sums it up pretty well. You know, for this specific episode, we're not going to dive into each game too much because we don't want it to be a 4-hour video. So I think that summarizes it pretty well. First half of the campaign was good, and the multiplayer is pretty fun. And I reckon we'll probably go back and give it a few more goes over the next whatever amount of time. So, do I think it was worth my 89 pence? You know what? I think it was. I think it really was. I'm not very invested in the Killzone franchise anyway. I played 2 and 3, but I don't care enough about it. I wouldn't have been devastated if it wasn't, when I say when it wasn't, that it isn't a 5 out of 5 game. You know, it was okay, and I'm okay with it being okay.
Yeah, that's
if that makes any
perfect.
Sense.
Done.
Yeah. Call of Duty Ghosts. So
I picked this up on launch day.
Yeah, you
because
you paid this a lot.
Because there was nothing else to buy aside from Knack, which you know.
I still haven't given it a go. Maybe one day.
No. Yeah, I don't think so. But yeah, so Call of Duty. Like I knew going into Call of Duty Ghosts that I pretty much had it for the campaign, because the multiplayer. It's not that the multiplayer is bad, it's not that I don't like the multiplayer, it's just that I played so much of it and I have not touched it for so many years, and it's just essentially the same game that came out, you know, so many years ago. I just have moved on from Call of Duty's multiplayer. That's fine. I won't really dive into the quality of the multiplayer because I don't really know if Call of Duty Ghosts is fun, is a good Call of Duty multiplayer game. I'm not sure. So yeah, the campaign, I went in, there was some pretty not so great reviews of Ghosts, and I was kind of like, whatever, I'll just play it and see what it's like. And I ended up enjoying Call of Duty Ghosts campaign more than I had anticipated I would enjoy it. Like the story is just, it's not good. And the ending is just wow, terrible. But just the moment to moment, you know, the gunplay is still so good, and it was just fun. It was just fun to play through, and they have some really good variety, I thought, you know, between the campaign levels. They have a cool stealth mission that I rather enjoyed, and some neat set pieces with like the flooding city, and I enjoyed it. When it was all said and done, I went in not really expecting much from it, and ended up really rather enjoying just playing through the campaign rather mindlessly, and you know, it was, yeah, and it looks fine. Like it looks like an old. It looks nice in the way that an older PC game looks nice, because you can just make it super sharp. And so yeah, Call of Duty Ghosts, I enjoyed my time with it, but my time with it was just like 4.5 hours of campaign,
yeah,
and that was it.
I'm exactly the same as you. I was even more skeptical about Ghosts. I was almost going to skip it completely. Modern Warfare, I actually really enjoyed Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer and campaign, but Black Ops 2 is where I kind of went off, and I was like, I'm kind of done with the franchise. So when even people who were really invested in the Call of Duty series weren't enjoying Ghosts, I was like, well, there's no way this is going to work for me. But I gave it a go anyway, and I agree, I really liked the campaign. It was actually up there with one of my favourites, and I think you summed up pretty well. It's the usual Call of Duty format. It's very cinematic. They did a good job of still implementing pretty original set pieces, even though they've done like 10 of these games now. And yeah, there were some fun levels that I hadn't seen in first-person shooters ever before. It played differently. It wasn't that long, so it was kind of just a little side thing that I could play when I wanted to not really think very much, because as you said, the story kind of garbage. So I kind of just went through it, shooting stuff, and then I was in space, and I was shooting stuff in space, and I was underwater shooting stuff. I didn't really have any idea what was going on, but it was pretty well paced, and they had some interesting levels, and I enjoyed it. I had a really good time, and I would rate it quite highly among the Call of Duty campaigns. I did give multiplayer one go.
Yeah, I did too. I played one game.
because I wanted to see, like, I think quite early on with a multiplayer game, you kind of get an itch, if you know what I mean. Like when you play it, you're like, I want to play more. And I played one game. I didn't think I did very badly with like the default guns. I think I killed some guys, and I was just like, I'm not ready. I'm definitely not ready for Call of Duty to come back into my life yet. I think, I don't know. I've never been, I don't think we have ever been Call of Duty people. I think we enjoyed them for the games they are. But it's gonna have to
I
be...
was a Call of Duty person for, Call of Duty 4 and Modern Warfare 2, for sure. As was, like, almost everyone on Earth, apparently. But,
it's gonna be a while before I'm ready for more Call of Duty, I think.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed the campaign more than I expected to, so I actually got 6 hours more enjoyment than I expected to out of the game. So, hey, there you go.
Absolutely. That's that.
Okay, so next we're going to briefly talk about Battlefield 4, because although we did review it, I was on the past generation. I was playing it on the PlayStation 3, you played it on PC, and the reason why we think that Battlefield 4 is worth revisiting is because it's kind of a completely different game when you compare it to I should say previous gen to current gen now. And this took me by surprise. I got Battlefield 4 on the PlayStation 4 for Christmas, and I was like, "Oh, this would be fun. I've got a multiplayer game for the PlayStation 4. It's going to look really shiny." But I just couldn't have really anticipated how differently it would play with is it 20, 24?
32 players per team.
Yeah, but what's it on past gen?
24 is max, 12 v 12,
so
and this is 32 v 32.
It is like. I mean, obviously it looks the same, it plays the same, but I just...
Well, no, I mean, it looks better.
Oh, yeah, sorry, it looks better, but it just feels like it just plays so differently with a larger amount of people. There are still some issues, some technical issues, some rubber banding, you could say. I actually saw some... I think the rubber banding got so bad that they've literally started targeting that specifically, which I've never seen happen in an online game ever. I mean, rubber banding happens every now and then in most multiplayer games, but I've never known it to be such a big issue that a game company has to specifically fix that fault. But, me and you played a few sessions, and I really enjoy it. It's much, I think I complained a bit in the original review that I thought the maps were too big on past generation. The encounters were just a bit too rare between you and the enemies. It felt like you were just kind of searching around, but I was just so overwhelmed when I played the PlayStation 4 version. I was terrible because I was kind of so used to be able to navigate and just walk around leisurely, and I was just getting destroyed from like multiple angles. So I had to just completely adjust the way I played Battlefield and the way I was used to playing Battlefield, and it was really fun. It was really fun. I kind of wish I should have played more of it. I think I should have gone back and played a few more sessions, but there have been a few issues, and there's been a few other games coming out. But I'm glad I own it, and hopefully they will fix it so I can go back and play it, because it really is worth investing in. If you have the current generation, past generation version, and you have a next generation console, it's worth buying again. I really do think it's worth buying again, because it really is a better and different game.
Yeah, and it looks really good on the PS4 as well. You know, coming from the PC version, it was still really impressive just how good it looked. But I'll just throw in my little update, because you know the PC is sort of where I've been playing it.
Yeah.
And like the rubber banding issue, they replaced their server, their physical server hardware. They had to replace. And they just did that like 3 or 4 days ago. We're recording this on the 28th of April, and they just fixed the rubber banding issue. But I mean, tomorrow, the 29th, will be exactly 6 months since it came out on the PC. And like the fact that they just now have fixed the rubber banding across the platforms, and like I booted up just today, and I go to activate an XP boost and the game still crashes for me.
Wow.
Consistently. It has never once not crashed when I go to activate an XP boost.
Wow, yeah.
And so, like, I don't know. Like, Battlefield 4 is a really good game. Its multiplayer is really good. But it's just been plagued by one issue after another, at least for me, and that the issues have been inconsistent. Like, the PS4 was really stable for a long time for me. And then just recently it's gotten horribly rubber bandy, and then they fix that, whatever, okay, great. But on the PC it's just been consistently inconsistent with how it's broken, and I have no love for it anymore.
Oh man, that's
like,
sad.
I really like Battlefield. Battlefield 3 was it was pretty much the only multiplayer game I've stuck with over the last couple of years, and I loved Battlefield 3. I played a ton of it, and I have played a lot of 4. But it's just, you know, it's 6 months on and it's still broken. You know, it still crashes for something like activating an XP boost, and I can't keep going into it and having it crash on me after paying $120 and 6 months on, and it should not have come out when it came out, and it really bums me out.
Sad face. That
it's still so inconsistent.
I didn't have as many problems that you did, but I know what you mean. I know what you mean. If I'd been in your shoes, I would have been peeved, to say the least.
Maybe in 6 more months it'll be nice and stable.
Yeah.
And if it is, then, you know, yeah, I mean, whatever. When it is stable, it's really good.
Yeah.
It's you know, so. But, yeah, the PS4 version's really good. If you have a PS4, it's pretty much the only multiplayer game that's worthwhile on it.
Yeah, that's probably a good shout. The next gen jump is worth it.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so next, do you want to talk about Ground Zeroes? Because I haven't played it because I don't...
Say it, just say it, just say it.
I don't like Metal Gear Solid. I don't like the franchise. I don't understand the games. I think that to truly enjoy the Metal Gear Solid games, you have to have played them from the first one, and you have to be invested in the characters and stories. And if you try and jump in, like I did before on the PlayStation 3, it was just an old man crawling around on his belly. I had no idea what was going on, and I apologize to any hardcore fans. I can't get into it this late in the game. I tried and I can't. So,
and that's
Jamison,
fine.
You played Ground Zero, right?
So that's fine. Metal Gear Solid's weird. It's totally fine that you don't like it. I understand. I was actually 4 was the first one that I played, and I had no idea what was going on with the story, but it was incredible, and I loved it anyways. And then I went back and played 2 and 3, and now I have, you know, some small idea of what's going on with the story, but I mean, I don't even know if they know what's going on with the story anymore. Metal Gear, for me, what I like about it, it's like half of my love of it is ironic.
Okay.
It's, you know, like, it's so bizarre, and it's so serious half the time, and it's just, I don't know, it's a really weird game series, and Metal Gear Solid 4, I really, really liked Metal Gear Solid 4 a lot, because it is so bizarre, and so all over the place, and so fucking crazy half the time. But so that's what I look for in a Metal Gear game, is a good deal of craziness, crazy Japanese weirdness with this crazy, with also like way too much self-serious melodrama. It's great. I love it. Ground Zeroes does not have that, unfortunately. Ground Zeroes is the prequel? No, prelude? I don't know. To the Phantom Pain, which is like the next proper full-blown Metal Gear game coming out next year. Some have called Ground Zeroes a demo, which, you know, maybe not that far off. It is open world. You have this sort of medium-sized world that you can wander around in. And yeah, so Ground Zeroes, I think, is the best playing Metal Gear game to date. The stealth stuff is pretty decent, actually. Stealth in the games has never been great, and playing them has never been the highlight. But Ground Zeroes is definitely the best playing of the Metal Gear games. But where Metal Gear has previously succeeded, in my eyes, is the story stuff and the cutscenes. And Ground Zeroes tries to be serious, like actually serious, and deal with serious topics, and it does it so poorly. I can't. It does it so poorly. If the Phantom Pain goes in this direction, I'm not interested. But yeah, so Ground Zeroes, it's fun to play. It looks pretty good. It actually looks really good at times.
Wait, I have to ask, how long did it take you to finish it?
I think it actually took me, I spent about 2 hours with them doing the main quest, but that's because I had no idea how to play the game and I was just sort of wandering around looking for things as well. I mean, you can complete it in like 10 minutes without any issue. God. But I spent about 2 hours with it and then haven't touched it since then. So yeah, it's got a little bit of that weirdness, but there's just not enough in there, and it needs that. This like self-serious, trying to deal with mature subject matter in a mature way, it does not work. And it's, yeah, so I don't know. Maybe don't play it. Maybe play it if you have like 15 minutes to spare.
Oh, yeah. Have a coffee break and finish off. Okay.
Pretty much, yeah.
Great. Fantastic.
And now for something completely different.
Okay, so the next game we're going to talk about is an indie game called Sound Shapes, and this was on the PlayStation 3, right? This is like a update, a HD update, or is this a new PS4 game?
No, this is a PS3 game that has come out on PS4. It's one of those cross-buy, so you buy it on the PS3, PS4, or the Vita, and you get it on all three consoles. Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
So I had bought it and played it on the PS3 when it came out, and then it just showed up in my library on the PS4, and I was like, oh, they re-released it out here on the PS4. I don't think they changed anything because it's not exactly a technically demanding game.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sound Shapes. I don't know, when did it come out? I think a year, not 2013. I think it was a 2012 game.
Wow, really?
Sound Shapes is really good.
It is really good.
Yeah, Sound Shapes
this is the first time I've
great.
ever played it, and I was blown away by how good this game was. I don't know how I didn't hear about it when it first came out, since platforming is kind of my thing. So if people don't know what Sound Shapes is, it's kind of it's a platformer game, but it introduces a dynamic sound system where you kind of have to collect these nodes, and then they add elements to the background music, and it's hard to put into words. It's just so awesome. It's just done so well.
It really is. Yeah, it's it's way easier to just watch gameplay of it and you understand what it is. I mean, it's just a platformer, but you go around and the collectible that you're supposed to be hitting results in the soundtrack, and at some of the later levels, and my personal favorite levels are the ones that incorporate the music into the actual moving platforms and everything, which I thought was really, really cool.
Yeah, that was awesome. I wanted more of that last album.
Yeah, like the sort of, I think one of the, like the move a little, where the platforms move and it's like spin a little and this platform spin, and that stuff was just fantastic. And it's got a really good creator, like you can make your own maps, and the community maps that have come out of there have been pretty good, you know, like the Darth Vader music and stuff like that. And yeah, Sound Shapes is great. I just looked it up, August of 2012, so it was a while ago.
God, we're just getting later and later, aren't we?
Yeah, so, you know, but We're reviewing a year and a half old game. Oh, whatever. Yeah, Sound Shapes is great.
I really liked it. So the game is split into different albums, which kind of is like a collection of levels.
Yeah, it's sort of their world selector.
Yeah, every world / album has a different artist, musical artist, and a different graphical artist. So when you're playing the game, each kind of album has a different kind of style, and it almost plays differently in every single level. Like one level involves like kind of simple puzzle elements, and then the Dead Mouse one has kind of like asteroid kind of like pixel themes to it. And because I went into it blind, I was really surprised by just how like kind of diverse this game was, how much it changed as you went along. I was just really pleasantly surprised by this game that I kind of hadn't even heard of, and I kind of felt bad about missing it because it really is a great game.
It really is, yeah. People should play it. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's that. It's cool. Play it.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to summarize. It's a very simple game, but it's not very long, but it's consistently good all the way through, and you should definitely pick it up and give it a go.
Absolutely.
So that about wraps it up, guys. This has been a bit of a different episode. I know we've done a few games, but we just wanted to make sure that we consistently have content every week. So I know these games are a bit old, but we thought you would still enjoy listening to what we had to say about them. We do have another one of these planned as well. There was a few more games on this list that we also didn't review in the past. So if we have another blank week coming up, which it looks like we will also be releasing another catch-up video. We talk about a few more games that we didn't talk about on DTH Reviews. So look forward to that, and we will see you next time.